pages. So that's what we have on the very front page of the Daily Nation. It's in their hands now, the big legal face-off. All eyes now shift to the theatre of the Supreme Court today as Raila Odinga files his petition against William Ruto, whom he accuses of usurping the will of the majority by stealing this month's election. Both camps have assembled heavy-hitting legal teams to defend their cases, but after all the drama and courtroom spectacle of the coming days, it will all boil down to Chief Justice Martha Koome and her team of 6 judges. There you have it. There's Chief Justice Martha Koome. On the side, you have Philomena Mwilu, Isaac Lenaola, Mohamed Ibrahim, Smokin Wanjala, William Ouko, and Njoki Ndungu. These are the men and women who's now, the ball is now in their court when it comes to this election. Just let's see what's the story about. So on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation, we'll be getting to that. Let me get that. All right, so top legal minds to face off in the poll petition. And of course, all eyes will be from today in the next 14 days on the 7 judges of the Supreme Court. We've had them. And we'll be getting to Raila Odinga's team and who they are, and also, you know, the other team. And just looking ahead, these are the main faces we'll perhaps be seeing. On Raila Odinga's team, you have James Orengo, Philip Murgor, you have Feroz Norji. Remember, he was very instrumental in the 2017 petition. Fred Ngatia, you have Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi on William Ruto's side, as well as Githu Muigai, who will be representing the IEBC, and Kamau Karori. Well, gentlemen, there you have it. I mean, it's not our first dance at the Supreme Court. We've seen this before 2 times. This is the 3rd time. Dismas, what do we expect at the Supreme Court?
Well, you know, the Kenyans, and especially the ones who are very interested in politics and legal issues, are keenly waiting to socialize or interact with the Azimio la Umoja presidential petition. So right now it would be very early in the day to comment on the case they want to place before the Supreme Court,
right? Because
we haven't seen the content. But from a layman's perspective, they must demonstrate beyond any reasonable doubts that these elections was not anchored in transparency. But from what we saw from the Bomas of Kenya, the tallying, the Form 34As, because now everybody in Kenya knows that presidential polls are held at the polling stations.
Right.
And what is communicated at the polling station is final. Even Mr. Chebukati has no capacity to alter anything. So they must demonstrate that the forms as signed off at the polling station and the ones which have been uploaded, that are inconsistencies. I think that will be the key thing. But again, from reports that they want to have a conversation around the voters register. But really, I think we need to be slightly patient,
right,
so that we can understand the content. You realize yesterday, Kalonzo Musyoka was saying that, in fact, a general election has not taken place in Kenya,
right,
because not all electoral areas are voted. So we may require to be a bit patient to find out exactly the grounds.
All right. And even as you say that, just getting this particular tweet, I'd not seen it, so it was posted about 8 hours ago by Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, lawyer, senior counsel, saying, I want, but I cannot act for President-elect Ruto in the Supreme Court. I am conflicted. In 2017, I acted for outgoing President Uhuru against Honorable Raila. Now that Uhuru's is talking about, you know, Raila Odinga is challenging Ruto's victory, obviously Uhuru will object and raise clients. And of course, he's speaking on a number of personal reasons why he says he will not be part of the lawyers representing President-elect William Ruto. Dr. Ojwang, what are your expectations on this case?
My expectation, one, is to ask Kenyans to lower their expectations, generally.
Right.
Just lower your expectation. Number 2, as Mokua aptly said, you know, it's like inviting us to the kitchen, telling us, test the salt, test the powder, test the sugar, test the flour. Is this going to be a good cake? You know, lick the oil, warm your hands by the fire. all we are talking about right now is the ingredients, right? They have not been put together.
Right.
It is only when you have now put those ingredients together where you can ask me, is this a good cake?
Right.
But
we cannot at this point say.
Right, but if you
because
invite
then they have
right.
until 2 p.m. We haven't seen a petition yet up until now.
Yet. So if you invite me to the kitchen and give me the different ingredient to test, and then you ask me, what do you think of this cake?
Right.
It will be hard to justify.
Right.
Just from licking the flour and the sugar and all that. But be as it may, so my question has been, where is the smoking gun?
Right.
Are there more that probably we don't know? As a tactics, you might not bring everything up front. But again, we ask ourselves, what else could it be? I think that the biggest lie we do is to lie to ourselves and to our supporters. And that's why I started by requesting that Kenyans just lower your if it happens, fine. If it doesn't happen, let it not catch you off guard.
Like I said, it's not the first time we're there.
Yeah, and the reason being that the threshold is 50 and above, that you must show that this election was conducted in a way violating the law and factually failed more than 50% of the election. Can you look, and the standard is a reasonable, not unreasonable. So can a reasonable person look at this election that we have just finished and say more than 50% of this election is nothing but a sham? So it's not just about picking something or finding something imperfect here. It is about meeting your burden of production and persuasion, which is above 50%. Then, of course, we saw what 2017 was. Remember, this time there is no cry of open the server. This time, the Form 34A are all there physically. Last time they were not. This time, before the declaration of the results, all the forms had been verified. Displaying them or announcing them is simply ceremonial, it's not a requirement. The declaration of results, the law talk of declaration of results. Right. That is not even it is the form that the arrow signs with the results. So there is a lot that have improved from 2017, including, remember, the KIMS kit worked almost 99% this time. Unlike last time, including the double transmission, the digital, and then the manual physical form. So I don't know where we could shake things and find this magic, but be as it may, you are inviting us to the kitchen to test the different ingredients.
Yes.